Hey guys, it's SF and I'm back with a new commentary video, and this one is a standalone, just kind of like Napoleon. But why I didn't do like a video about Napoleon is more because just having one video that talks about Napoleon is not that interesting. But since this new monster has a new set of event dungeons as well, so I'm going to be talking about the descent monsters as well. But the monster is Cleopatra. Some of you might know her. I'll be introducing her to you guys. And in terms of the hatchet that she comes out with, it's usually light. The feature monsters are light monsters or light and dark monsters. I'm not 100% sure which hatchet would be, but if you have some light monsters, for sure, they're going to be light monsters in that hatchet. But either there's dark monsters in there. It really doesn't. I'm not really sure about that. But if you're hoping for some light monsters, like that is not that, even if you don't want Cleopatra but you want like other light monsters, then go for it. But I'll be talking about the new monster and also the descent monsters as well. And if you guys haven't noticed, but I did start up a Monster Strike blog talking about my thoughts on new content that I won't be doing it on video because of various reasons that I actually wrote on the blog as well. But I'll be talking about the descent monsters on my blog, more of actually being the dungeon and what monsters are good, what's a more in-depth look of their uses. But for this commentary video, I'll be talking about the general stats and stuff like that, and their general uses and evolve or ascend and stuff like that. But first, let's look at the hatchet monster Cleopatra. Let's look at the evolve. Bounce type, no damage wall, gauge of healing. Strike shot is kind of like Ognamut, where she knocks everybody out and then like keeps on knocking them out whenever they touch her. And bomb combo is a poison spread shot 16. If you're wondering about the poison damage is 30,000 per turn for I think 3 turns. So it's really good for like scorpions, but outside of that there's not much use for that bomb combo. It does deal damage over time, but there are better bomb combos that actually deal total just one shot damage that deals more than the poison itself. But the poison is mostly for scorpions, and that's it. Ascend. She becomes a pierce monster, and no gravity barrier, gauge shot of healing, and strike shot is thunder meteor, lightning meteor, same as Zeus. Bump combo is a blast, giga blast or mega blast, I don't really care, but it's just blast. And EX laser asks for the sub. Now she is a flip depending on what you want with her. If you want the ascend is only for Tsukuyomi, which is the dark impossible monster. But she is really good. She's top 5 pick. She's not like top 1 pick of that for that dungeon. There are better monsters that can replace her for that dungeon that's even better, like Napoleon. Merlin's kind of better. Well, yeah, Merlin's kind of better because Cleopatra doesn't take more damage from dark monsters. And what else is better? Roma's better. Snow White's better. Urio's better. So if you don't have a good monster for Tsukuyomi, then she is a really good monster to ascend. But general use case is the evolve version. And especially JP has a damage wall meta. I've been saying it like 100 million times. JP is still in a damage wall meta. She's really good as a no damage wall monster, especially for the healing. The recovery recovers 21% of your max HP if you hit all 3, and it scales. I think is 1.5, 6.5 for the second one, and then the remainder for the last one. I think it was 14 or something. I forgot, 13 or 14%. I may be wrong. I'll write it down in the comments below in the description box of the actual percentages. But if you hit all 3, you get 21% of your max HP back. But as for Cleopatra, that's basically it about her. People want her for reasons. I think it's more about artwork reasons than actual viability reasons. I'm not saying that she's really, really bad, but she's not top. Like, she's not a good starter. Well, she is a good starter, but there's going to be better Hatcher monsters that can replace her. And there are some farmables that can replace her as well. Okay, let's look at the descends. First up is Dracula. Let's look at the evolve. Power type, no damage wall. And strike shot is a command strike shot like Roma and Napoleon. And bomb combo is a lock on shockwave 6. Let's look at the ascend. Balance, no damage wall. And strike shot is bash first enemy and then knock up, just like Hercules but with less power. Bomb combo, lock on shockwave 6 with a better power, and homing 8. Now Dracula is for Hikari and Cleopatra as well, I think. So you might want to focus him on trying to beat him. I'll write that in the blog of how to actually beat that dungeon. But Dracula, in terms of the monster, he's not bad. There's not that many no damage wall monsters that are water. There is Okuda, there is Louis the 13th, but that's later. But the Ascend version is the way to go, just because of the not really useful strike shot and speed combo with the evolve. If you know, if you had Momotaro, you had the Ascend version is basically the same, where the Ascend version of Momotaro is a power type with low speed but has a very strong strike shot, but that strike shot doesn't do much because you can hardly hit any allies with it. So people just go for the Ascend version with a higher speed, okay strike shot, and a better bump combo with some homing 8 to boot in case of scorpions and stuff like that. But as for max luck and stuff, I'll write that in the blog, but I don't really recommend you max lucking Dracula because this dungeon is relatively harder than the other water no damage wall monsters that I said, like Okuda Soji and Louis the 13th. Now let's look at Jack-o'-lantern. He is a sprite, so there are some sprite slayers like Surtur and Michelangelo that might be okay. I think Michelangelo will be better than... I think Surtur will be better than Michelangelo in that. But it really depends because that dungeon has a lot of fire monsters. But either way, I'll write that in the blog. So evolve ability is no gravity barrier and no warp. Low attack. That really shot out in my mind. Strike shot is the same as the Yukimura and Sano. And piercing spread shot EL3 for the bomb combo. Let's look at the ascend ability, no gravity barrier only. Higher attack, but without the gauge and stuff like that. Strike shot is same as Queen Butterflight, but with a 12 turn cooldown. I think that's shorter than Butterflight by like 3 or 4 turns. Bomb combo is a blast and spread shot L2 for the sub. Now evolve is 100% the way to go. If you looked at his ability set, his double abilities, it's the same as Izanami. So if you're gonna max lock, I do recommend the max lock Jack over Dracula for sure. And basically he's kind of like Izanami but deals less DPS. His strike shot does well, and his piercing homing does okay damage, but you can't really beat the meteor and the rebounding rebounding laser from Izanami. But he is relatively easier to farm than Izanami, so maybe that's something that will intrigue you to actually max luck Jack, and even though you don't really have the orbs or the time to do Izanami. Now his uses, he's good for probably almost any dungeon that Izanami is good for, including Vanilla, Kushinada. Izanami does beat Jack in Kushinada, but Jack is not that far off. Well, he's still usable in that dungeon because he doesn't get affected by the warps and the no gravity barrier. Izanami does actually carry in that dungeon, whereas Jack just kind of sits there and then bump Izanamis and Romas and stuff like that, and do some mob clear with a strike shot. But he is number 1 max luck for Tsukuyomi. I did say back when I was talking about Cleopatra that it is a dark impossible dungeon. If you want to farm Tsukuyomi, Tsukuyomi is not that really worth to actually max luck, but if you just want to get some drops and do less runs for max luck, do less runs in terms of actually getting the drop for Tsukuyomi, then Jack is your number 1 pick for a max luck. It beats out a lot of monsters and some hatcher monsters, beats out some hatcher monsters, I think. But that's mainly his uses. There are probably a lot of other dungeons. There's stuff like Yoshinobu, Vanilla. I did say Vanilla. But yeah. But that's pretty much it. In the description bar, I'll write down the link to the blog post that I will be talking about Dracula and Jack, about what's going to be in the dungeon, monsters that you should bring, some things to watch out for, and max luck or no max luck, and some other information of how to beat them, and some things that you should know about upcoming stuff for these 2 dungeons. But that's basically me. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.